know that there was a funeral this afternoon and receiving him. Many of the board members and Dr. Phipps was there for that, for Teresa Denius, who passed away last week. She was an instructional assistant at Gamewell Elementary School and gave many, many years to the students of Caldwell County. So we want to take a moment of silence and encourage you as you go through the coming days to remember the family, to remember friends, and certainly the students that she was involved with. So if you would, for a moment, let's have a moment of silence. Thank you. Well, we want to welcome each of you here to the meeting tonight. And certainly as we approach Thanksgiving here, we want to wish happy Thanksgiving to each of you. We also want to say congratulations to Mrs. Teresa Branch and Mr. Dwayne Knight, Mr. Joe Sims. We also have Mr. Chris Bumgarner in the group at the very back there. These are the ones that have been elected in the recent election to serve a 4-year term for the Board of Education. There will be an induction in 2 weeks, a swearing in 2 weeks. So that will be coming up here soon, and we'll be moving forward from that point. But we do want to congratulate each of those. Next on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm sorry, I've skipped over the invocation. Mr. Tim Hawkins is going to do the invocation for the board. Tim, if you would, please.
Thank you. As we get ready for Thanksgiving this week, we have a lot to be thankful for. Freedom, our school system, administration, teachers, students. And I want us to pause right now and reflect on everything that we are thankful for. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hawkins. Now we have 2 students from the Career Center Middle College that are going to do our Pledge of Allegiance. They are Kyle Handy, son of Terry and Amanda Handy, and Matthew Grogan, son of Chris and Ann Grogan. So if you would stand, please.
Attention. Salute. Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Kyle and Matthew, for being here with us this evening. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. And board, you might note that item 9A has been added there. So having noted that, do I hear a motion that we approve the agenda as you have it in front of you?
Chairman Pennell, I make a motion we approve the agenda as been presented tonight.
Second.
Any comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And motion passes. Next is the approval of the regular and closed session minutes. Those minutes we will vote together, vote on both of them together. And they were from the, if you were not with us last month, we were working through a new computer situation here, so bear with us just a minute.
No,
October the 8th meeting. So we had a board meeting on October the 8th. We also have a closed session on October the 8th as well. The board have an opportunity to review that. Do I hear a motion that we approve both sets of minutes for October the 8th?
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve both sets of minutes as presented.
Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that motion passes. Next, we have the honors and recognitions portion of the meeting tonight. And we know that that's a big part of why a good many of you are here, and we are certainly happy to honor students and teachers and others that play such a vital role in our school system. So the board is going to move down front, and we're going to welcome these people as they are announced by Libby Brown, School Community Relations Director.
Good evening, board members, Chairman Pennell, board members, Dr. Phipps. It's a pleasure to be here, and we have a great crowd tonight. So thank you for coming out and supporting these budding artists, but I should say these artists have been realized. They are now in the Education Center Art Gallery, and I did find a quote from Picasso, and he said, "Every child is an artist. The problem is how to remain an artist once we grow up." So parents, please keep encouraging your children to draw and to create because we want to make sure that they have this spotlight all the way through their experience in the Caldwell County Schools. So continue, please. So we are now going to get to our artist, and we're going to start with Dudley Shoals Elementary School, and Gwen Roop is the principal, and the art teacher is Alexis Buchanan. So we're going to start with a first grader, Annabella Bowman. So it's Annabella. Come on up. And parents, feel free to come out and take pictures, just like Mom's doing here. Aaron Benge, fourth grader. So. Jaylee Dickinson, second grade. Olivia Smith, kindergarten. Ooh, all right. And Carter Ward, fourth grade. Good job. All your Dudley Shoals artists are here tonight. So let's take a picture with, since we have all of our Dudley Shoals students here. Oh, Mr. Rich, you can get up there. Yes, and please, you can see this, so please take advantage of seeing their artwork if you didn't have a chance in the hallway.
Oh, absolutely. We will do that.
And we have Granite Falls Elementary School, and Chris Green could not be here. However, Melissa Costin, they will eventually go to Melissa Costin at the middle school, is going to help out. We have all kindergartners. Yvette Bryant. Yvette Bryant, here we go. Maddie Carconi. Forgive me if I slaughter a name. I'll put that disclaimer out there. Riley Clark. Sloan Irby. Okay. And Elijah Grace. And it's wonderful to have these kindergartners to get the spotlight tonight. Thank you, Ms. Thompson. Thank you. So Ms. Costin, if you'll come back up to the front. Now, these are her students at Granite Falls Middle School. Parker Bowman, 7th grade. Lainey Sue Carpenter, 7th grade. Jose Luis Morales, 8th grade. Brady Stewart, 8th grade. And Victoria Villacourt, 7th grade. What a wonderful turnout tonight with our art students. Good job. And we won't be taking too much longer, so if you don't mind staying, and let's recognize each of our students. And we're going to turn our attention to another art form, which is singing. And 4 students from the school district were selected to participate in the North Carolina Elementary Honors Chorus this year. The North Carolina Elementary Honors Chorus is a group of approximately 195 students who are chosen from across the state to perform at the North Carolina Music Educators Association Conference. The purpose of this honors chorus is to provide students with the opportunity to develop their abilities to the greatest possible extent. 3 from Granite Falls Elementary School were selected this year. However, they're in Granite Falls tonight lighting up the town and singing, so they'll be here in December. But we have another special student, Aubrey Norris. Aubrey is a 4th grader at Lower Creek Elementary School. And to my knowledge, she is the very first student who has auditioned and been selected in the North Carolina Honors Chorus from Lower Creek Elementary School. So that's a big deal. And Miss Landry Bowman is the music teacher, and Miss Leanne Fry is the principal. So I'm not sure if we have. If you raise your hand, you get to come up. We also have 2 middle school students selected to participate in the North Carolina Honors Course, which was held on Veterans Day this year in Winston-Salem. And Carla Reed is the course teacher at William North Middle School. However, she is no stranger to the North Carolina Honors Course. She has lots of students who have participated in the past. And we're going to start with her first student, Isley Walker, 7th grade. And we have Zerden Keller, 8th grade, and this is Zerden's 2nd year in making Oh, and how about Miss Vaughn? Miss Lisa Vaughn is the principal, so Lisa, please come up. You guys can keep that Still on the theme of music, South Caldwell High School Marching Band was awarded Grand Champion, not just once, not just twice, but 3 times in the fall. And congratulations to the marching band. They were Grand Champion at the Avery Viking Classic at Avery High School, the Ford Tiger Band Classic at Ford High School, the Cavalier Classic at East Burke High School. And Jason Childers is the school's band director, but of course he's in Granite Falls tonight leading. Oh, he's here. I'm surprised to say. So Jason Childers, come on up, the band director for South Caldwell High School. Is Chasten here too? Chasten Minton is also here, the band president. We are so proud of them. This is a great achievement, and they competed in another invitational, got runner-up, but we all felt like they should have been the grand champion. So 3 grand championships. What a run for South Caldwell High School band. And Jason, I had a great quote for you tonight. But if you want to say something, standing there, I had a great quote right here for you tonight. But if you want to say something. I should read your quote. But we're very proud of them. Let's congratulate the South Caldwell High School. And Chad Smith is the principal at South Caldwell High School. Thank you. Well, our final student recognition this evening is still in the art category, and this is in drama. So we are just really blessed in the Caldwell County school system to have this level of achievement from our students in the arts. And this is at West Caldwell High School. Sophomores Aiden Crook and Sean Dula were selected to perform in the Hamilton. Yes, that rings a bell, I'm sure, for all of you. The Hamilton Education Program. Social studies teacher Jennifer Miller applied for a grant and received notification from the Hamilton Education Program that West Caldwell would be participating, and sophomores Aiden Crook and Sean Dula were selected to perform their Hamilton-inspired rap in Charlotte when the West Caldwell High School students traveled to Charlotte in November to see Hamilton. So what a great experience for the school to go and see Hamilton. And there's just been some wonderful comments by the students from this experience, and to have one of our rappers here. The other one is actually at a swim meet tonight, so he couldn't make it, but Jennifer Miller, the social studies teacher, is here, who did the grant, coordinate this, and also support from Neil Ramsey, another social studies teacher from West Caldwell High School, and Craig Styron is here. So all of you come up, whole entourage. So let's do Thank you.
At this time, we wanted to take a few minutes to recognize one of our fellow board members who has been such an integral part of Caldwell County Schools for 24 years. Mrs. Dottie Darcy has been a rock for public school education for 24 years, has been an outstanding board member, giving much time to volunteering at all levels at our schools. And in her 24 years, she has been a huge supporter of the arts, as well as highly supportive of all programs within our school district. She has been an outstanding advocate for teachers, for staff, for administrators, and it is quite apparent that she loves the children in Caldwell County and has always been very supportive of what is best for our children throughout the county. Dottie, your dedication and support for Caldwell County schools will indeed be missed, but we also know that you will continue to be a very integral part of volunteering and being a part of our school system. Dottie was first elected in 1994. She has been chair of this board. She has been vice chair of this board. She's been very active at state level with the North Carolina School Boards Association. She has been on the board through many very important building projects throughout the county. Dudley Shoals Elementary, Hudson Elementary, William Lenore Middle School. She has also been a part of the opening of our two alternative schools, Gateway and Horizons. She was on the board during the formation of the early college and the middle college high school. She has also seen the dropout rate rise from probably somewhere in the 60s to into the 90s. So Dottie has been indeed an integral part of this board for a long, long period of time. We have a plaque that we want to present at this time, and it reads, Caldwell County Board of Education presented to Dottie Darcy, board of Education member 1994 through 2018, in recognition for dedicated and exemplary service to the students and staff of Caldwell County Schools. Congratulations, Dottie.
Just a word or two. It's been a real honor and a privilege for me to serve our students, our teachers, our staff. And one of the things that I've learned talking to people across the state is how well our board works together to make all these things happen and to collaborate with our community partners because we're all focused on student success. That's the bottom line for all of us. I plan to keep volunteering in the schools. I've already had a teacher ask if I'd come help a couple little boys with math, so I may need a review course on third grade math. But I plan to keep involved in the schools and look forward to lots of great things happening in the future. So thank you very much.
We want to thank you for being here with us tonight, and you're certainly welcome to stay. We're going to be going through a business session here for the next, 30 minutes or so. You're welcome to stay for that, but if dinner is waiting or homework is waiting, then now might be an appropriate time for you to leave. But we do certainly want to wish everybody a very happy Thanksgiving season with family and friends. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, you gotta go back down.
Since 2007, the Caldwell County, should I wait a second? Since 2007, the Caldwell County Schools has exceeded the state average for number of students graduating on time. For more than 10 years, the district average of students graduating from high school has been better than the state's average, and we are extremely excited about that piece of data. And helping each of us, the district as a whole, reach this high achievement, we have schools that are reaching 100% graduation rate. And in 2017, 2018, 2 schools reached this perfect mark of 100%. So tonight we'd like to recognize those 2 schools, and we will start with Caldwell Career Center Middle College, and the principal there is Andy Poole. So congratulations. Congratulations for being in the 100% club. And I think this is the Caldwell Early College 3rd or 4th time in this club membership. So Candace Hageman, principal, if you'd like to come forward, congratulations. And we have other certificates to give away from the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction. We would like to also congratulate those schools that have exceeded academic growth expectations for students during the 2017 and 2018 school year. So we'll just list them in alphabetical order. So we're going to start with Davenport A+ School, and Kelly Smith is the principal. So congratulations. Granite Falls Middle School, Melissa Costin. Hudson Elementary School, Adam Windmiller. And William Lenore Middle School, Principal Lisa Vaughn.
Thank you all.
We have more certificates. We would also like to congratulate the following schools for achieving the goal of expected academic progress for students during the 2017-2018 school year. We'll start with Bayton Elementary School. Jason Tiefteller is the principal. Gateway School, Bill Schreiber, principal. Collettsville School, Jay McCarrer. Caldwell Early College, Candace Hageman. Dudley Shoals Elementary, Gwen Roop. Gamewell Elementary School, Adrian Dula. Gamewell Middle, Anna Crook. Granite Falls Elementary, Chris Green couldn't be here, but Millie Hefner is representing Granite Falls Elementary School. Happy Valley, Meredith Griffin. Hudson Middle School, Julia Knight Lovett. Kings Creek School, Jenny McNulty couldn't be here, so Missy Weaver is here representing Kings Creek School. Yes, second grade teacher. Lower Creek, Leanne Fry, principal. Oak Hill, Chris Ackerman, principal. Sawmills Elementary, Courtney Wright, principal. West Lenore Elementary, Travis Gillespie, principal. And Whitnall Elementary, Kim Case, principal. So this is a wonderful sight to behold, our principals and these levels of achievement that you have achieved and reached in academics in your school. So congratulations. We're very, very proud of you. We're not sure if you can all get in the picture, but we'll try.
Stand up and we'll move around behind.
Congratulations. We're proud of our principals, too. Okay. And then, yes. Who did? Okay.
Chairman Pennell, members of the board, Dr. Phipps, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity this evening to speak about our student teachers for this fall 2018 school year. I think all the principals that were just up here receiving recognition would agree with me that we have to have great leadership within our school system. That certainly means a lot. But I think the most telling piece and the most important factor in a successful school system is having great teachers in the classroom. That's what makes or breaks us, and those are the people that make a difference in the lives of our students. So we want to thank our teachers. This year we had multiple student teachers in Caldwell County, and as we were venturing out recruiting teachers from across the state of North Carolina and really our nation, I had a wild and crazy idea, and that was that we have wonderful educators, student teaching in our county right now. So why don't we take advantage of that time and allow those individuals to meet our wonderful Board of Education and hopefully maybe retain some of these wonderful student teachers to take up some spots and vacancies that I know will occur within our school system. So student teachers, we certainly appreciate your time, and I'm assuming I'm speaking to most over here, but we certainly appreciate the time that you've given to Caldwell County Schools. In the learning process and the graduation process that you get through and have taken through your university, then also for the licensure process, that when you begin your ventures and looking for a career, maybe Caldwell County will be your home, and we would certainly like to do that. One of the statements I always say when we're hiring is anytime we have an opportunity to hire, it's an opportunity to get better. And that's what we want to do within our school system. So I'd like to recognize our student teachers. I'd like to thank our principals and teachers that have housed these individuals this school year. And then also like to thank Katie Elliott, my assistant, for assisting as well. As I call your name and hopefully get it correct, if you would please come up, and we have a nice pen for you. David, could you assist me with handing out pens? Okay, we have some more here. That'll be fine. Hannah Gurley, Gamewell Elementary School, Appalachian State University. Kristen Street Hefner, Dudley Shoals, Appalachian State University. Gabriella Simmons, Granite Falls Elementary School, Appalachian State University. Asia Calloway, Hudson Middle School, Appalachian State University. Hunter Carroll, Granite Falls Middle School, Appalachian State University. Brittany Murphy, Happy Valley School, Appalachian State University. Rebecca Cole, High Brighton High School, Appalachian State University. Katie Schiavo, High Brighton High School, Appalachian State University. I was hoping I would get Katie's name right. Catherine Bast, Hudson Elementary School, Appalachian State University. Ryan Brentolino, Kings Creek School, Appalachian State University. Caroline Green, Kings Creek School, Appalachian State University. Dylan Moon, South Caldwell High School, Appalachian State University. Franklin Ferretti, Whitnall Elementary School, Appalachian State University. Rebecca Spicer, Gamble Middle School, University of North Carolina, Charlotte. And Millie Smith, Bayton and Whitnall at Grand Canyon University. Please give all these individuals a round of applause.
Public comment. Thank you all for being here tonight. Okay, we have a few announcements that we want to make. We have our next board meeting will be the first Monday in December, and then we will also have a work session next Monday. Next Monday, the 26th, at 8 o'clock in the morning, we will be having a work session from about 8 until 10. And I think those are the two most important things. Our board meeting, of course, will be in 2 weeks, December the 3rd, at 6 o'clock here in the boardroom. Thanksgiving break begins after the school day tomorrow. So students and staff will be off Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And again, we certainly hope that all the families have a great time together and can enjoy the Thanksgiving season. So with that being said, we're going to move along with the agenda, and I'm going to recognize our Superintendent, Dr. Don Phipps.
Being the new person here, there are going to be a lot of firsts that I experience, as you all know, each month. And this past week or two, I had the opportunity to experience Veterans Day programs throughout our county. And I can tell you, at the schools that I attended, I don't know that I've ever been more proud or moved by programs that we've had in our schools. And to say that I'm proud is an understatement, but proud of our veterans, proud of our students, and proud of our community. To be a part of a community like this is just a wonderful thing. With that being said, I just want to remind folks that in the holiday season we have many choral and band programs. You saw a lot of that represented tonight. We encourage you to check out what's going on at the school near you and take part in that. And then also, as we've talked about tonight, a lot of arts activities. There's a lot of musical talent among our students, but we have a great deal of talent among our staff members as well, and these folks will be recognized next month. But I wanted to publicly announce, because they were recognized last week on Sunday night with some different choral and band awards. Hunter Suits, who's a band teacher from High Brighton High School, won the Ed Ruker Encore Award, which recognizes band teachers in their first 7 years who demonstrate great potential. Bernadette Watts is the chorus teacher at High Brighton High School. She's the North Carolina Music Educator Association's High School Choral Teacher of the Year. And Leah Massey, the band teacher from Hudson Middle, received the Award of Excellence by the North Carolina Band Masters Association. it's just great to be able to recognize students and great to be able to recognize the adults that work with their students, and we're so proud of the recognition. And again, we'll have them back next month to formally allow them to receive the awards, but I wanted to recognize them publicly tonight in light that they were recognized last week. So congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Phipps. Next item on the agenda, Dr. Bill Griffin, the Assistant Superintendent for Personnel.
Chairman Pennell, members of the board, Dr. Phipps, you have before you Category 6, Human Resources Services, Subject A, Human Resources Informational Items. Again, those items are for information only. I do not need approval at this time. Are there any questions about those items? Okay. Category 6, Human Resources Services, Subject B, Human Resources Usual and Customary Action Items. If I could, please have a motion to approve the Human Resources Usual and Customary Action Items as presented, if there are no questions.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the usual and customary human resource as presented.
Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Okay, any comments, questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And motion passes.
Thank you. Subject C, Human Resources Usual and Customary Personnel Action Items, substitute list that you have before you. If I respectfully could please have a motion to approve Human Resources Services Usual and Customary Personnel Action as presented.
Do I hear a motion that we approve the Human Resource Services usual and customary personnel items, including the substitute list?
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the Human Resources recommendation as presented.
Is there a second?
second.
Comments, questions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. And finally, Category 7, Human Resource Services, Subject A, Student Transfers 1819. Before you see that November total transfer requests, 38. Transfers recommended board approval are 35. Transfers not recommended board approval are 3. Total approval for 1819 school year, 658. For total transfers revoked is 7. I respectfully request a motion to approve the 1819 student transfers as presented.
Do I hear a motion that we approve the student transfers for 2018-2019 as presented by Dr. Griffin?
I'll make the motion to approve the transfers as presented.
Second.
Comments? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you very much, Dr. Griffin. We appreciate it. Next, the Chief Financial Officer, Mr. David Johnson.
Mr. Chairman, board members, and Dr. Phipps, I have 3 amendments tonight. The first one is for the State Public School Fund. Excuse me, it's in the amount of $121,866. It is for PRC 048 principal bonus pay and for PRC 73 school connectivity. The second amendment I have, budget amendment number 4, is for the federal grants program. It's in the amount of $3,855,876. It is for PRC 50 Title I, PRC 103 Improving Teacher Quality Grant, PRC 104 Language Acquisition, and PRC 108 Educational Technology. The last one I have is for the Capital Outlay Grant. It is not an increase to the budget. It's just a transfer between instructional services and support services. I'd like to ask for your approval tonight for these 3 amendments as presented. If approved, it'll bring the total budget for Caldwell County Schools to $116,426,090.42.
Okay, do I hear a motion that we approve budget amendments 3, 4, and 5 as presented by Mr. Johnson?
Chairman Pennell, I move that we approve the budget amendments 3, 4, and 5 as we have heard from David Johnson.
Is there a second? And a second. Any questions? Any comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And motion passes.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. At this time, I would like to recognize our superintendent, Dr. Don Phipps.
Ask Mr. Ken Church if he would to come up. Mr. Church and I had an opportunity to meet a few weeks ago, and the Church family has an idea project request that's in the form of a donation, but needs board approval, and I asked him if he would to come and just address the board briefly and kind of go from there. So thank you, Mr. Church, for being here.
I'd like to make a couple quick comments. Chairman Pennell will remember this. Rita served on this board, I guess, for 6 years and taught in the school system for 25 years.
8 years.
I mean, well, yeah, she's a teacher. But anyway, what made me think of that was I didn't know much about the political process. So she came home one day when she was getting ready to run for the school board, and she said, I think I need a billboard. And I said, okay, how much is it? And I think it was like $750 at the time. And I said, well, honey, I'll do that. And I come by a few days later, and on the sign it says, Rita B. Church for school board, paid for by the committee to elect Rita B. Church. And I said, who's this committee? I hadn't found a committee. Anyway, we had a great experience. Raised our kids in this county, you know, and we spent our whole life here. Unfortunate thing, we lost our son, Brandon. But anyway, thank you for allowing me to come and be here. As we're going into this holiday and Thanksgiving season, I think about Brandon's heart. He was president of the student body at South. He was captain of the football team, voted best all around. I mean, just a wonderful young man. And with me tonight is my wife, Rita, and my family. I got Coach Justice with me, who's a grandnephew, and I've got 3 Parhams behind me. Lindsay's my favorite grandniece, great niece, and so they're here. But they presented something to me a while back. We've been trying to figure out how to honor our son, and also I didn't want to leave her out. But the most important person here tonight is Mackenzie Ann Church. That's Brandon's little girl. I tried to get her to come up here with me, she wouldn't, but he was always the apple of my eye. She's now the apple seed of my eye. But anyway, he loved South Caldwell, and he loved children, and he loved kids. And we felt, after meeting with Coach Justice and some other folks that we've met with, we got such a great ladies softball program here at South Caldwell. It's unbelievable. I mean, when I saw the record, I didn't believe it. I had to go back and get these guys to prove the numbers, but it's an unbelievable record. And their facilities were, I think they had maybe a porta-john and 1 bathroom, you know, and I will tell you this new facility, Jeff, you've seen this, but we're up to like 11 bathrooms. I think the girls will have plenty of bathrooms and locker rooms and batting cages. And so I called, all my family couldn't be here, but I called my son Eric, who's also was president of student body at South Caldwell. My daughter was vice president of student body, so they've all been in leadership at South Caldwell. And we want to do something to honor Brandon, and our hopes are that we can pay for this new facility. It's going to be a 100 by 40 feet, which is 4,000 square feet. Is that 44? Yeah. These guys know more about it than I do. I just know we've been asked to come up with the money, and our family has agreed to commit the money, and it's mainly for kids. We're not trying to get, you know, a bunch of notoriety. We just want to make sure that we do something that's going to be good for the community. And but anyway, I appreciate, you know, giving me a chance to even make a few comments. And it's going to be a tough season for us, but we'll get through it. And thank you guys and gals for listening. Okay, thank you. Is that enough? Did I cover what I need to cover? Thank you.
I'd like to thank the church family and the generosity with the donation for the cost of taking care of the building, and also just the legacy that will leave in terms of recognition of Brandon and just what can happen on that campus. I would like to graciously ask the board to make a motion to accept this donation, allow us to work on all the pieces that go along with the facility and the capital piece that'll be in place. But we'd like to try to get some things done and have it in place very early, if not at the beginning of the season, this softball season. So we're looking at a pretty quick turnaround time. But thank you all and your family very much.
I make a motion that we accept the offer for the donation to South Caldwell from the church family.
Second that motion.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And motion passes. And again, thank you very much. We truly do appreciate that, and I'm sure that'll be a very valuable asset for Caldwell County, and we know it's going to be a tough time for y'all during this Thanksgiving and Christmas season, but certainly the family will be in our thoughts and prayers. But again, thank you so much for thinking of Caldwell County and thinking of South Caldwell High School. Thank you.
Next agenda item are the proposed North Carolina School Board Association Fall 2018 Board Policy Manual updates. Many of these were tied to legislative changes or some other small tweaks that happened to make sure we had to do to make sure that we keep our policies updated. I did want to mention that we added policy 9300, which is naming of facilities. Just in the process that we've gone through, we found some things there that we felt like we needed to tighten up and work on to help us as we move forward. So I'm proposing these to you. This is first reading. We've had an opportunity to share these with our cabinet level individuals have gone through it. Recommendations have been made. So what you see here is reflection for your consideration, and we'll be bringing these back at the December meeting for your approval.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the enclosed policies for the 30-day comment period.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And motion passes. Okay, as we move along, during the fall of the year, we have several events that we attend, and one of those is the Fall Law Conference in October, and we also attend many of us had the opportunity to attend about a week ago, the State School Board Conference in Greensboro. So Ann and I were able to go to Asheville for the Law Conference. Ann, do you have a few comments you want to make?
Certainly, I will be happy to. The opportunity to attend these conferences is very much appreciated, because one of the things that we need to do in order to be good board members is to be able to know this legislation and to try to understand it as we work with our schools. And the majority of this particular law conference was about developing relationships and working with relationships with local law enforcement. And one of the things that we were presented was a system that had developed a memorandum of understanding. And so it was important as a board member for me to see how that there are responsibilities that are school responsibilities, and there are responsibilities, unfortunately, when it becomes necessary, that become law enforcement responsibilities. So I think I counted here, Daryl, 6 to 8 sessions that was mostly related to that, and even down to restorative practices and strategies that they would suggest that we take a look at as we are looking at, if we are forced to look at criminal charges within our school systems. And I'm sorry that this is an issue that has to come before our public schools, but it is necessary for us, and it is necessary for the board to be attuned to what is out there and what our responsibilities are. So that would be my comment.
Okay. Certainly, we Ann did a great job in covering the broad sense of what the law conference was about. Certainly, safety is also a part of it. And one of the sessions was K-12 threat assessment, and this is a program in the state of Virginia, and they call it the CARES program. And let me just tell you what CARES stand for. The C stands for Caring and Connection to Build a Positive School Climate. The A is awareness of the resources that are available to the school system. R is recognition of threatening behavior, and to educate not only staff but students to be able to recognize threatening behavior. And the E is engagement with the community, which I think is extremely important, and with persons for whom there may be a concern. And that might be someone who there is some thought that potentially could be a problem or an issue. The S is simply supporting each other. And I think in this day and time, we can, there's not too much that we can do. We need to do all we can for the safety of staff, for the safety of our students. And this program that they're doing in Virginia is statewide. And certainly in Caldwell County, we're doing a lot of these things. Well, actually, we're doing all of these things as I was looking over that, probably to varying degrees. But it was a good session. And always the law conference is probably the best conference that we attend because it deals with a lot of the legal issues that we face in this day and time. Okay, we'll move along. One last thing here. Those who attended the school board's conference, we will target one specific work session that we went to. And Dottie, you may have some comments about maybe one of the opening session.
Right. One of the very interesting sessions was presented by a researcher from the folks who do the Gallup polls. And of course, we're all familiar with Gallup polls. And they spend a surprising amount of time on doing polls related to education, and I truly wasn't that aware of it until we had that presentation. You can actually go to gallup.com/education, and it will give you links to some of these projects that they've done, but they have looked at what really affects education, and as the chairman just said, one of the things they emphasize is the power of a positive school climate and engaging students. The things they said that again, based on their polls, only about half of our students feel truly engaged. And things that we can do that will promote this are safety, praise and recognition of students, recognizing and feeding their interests, giving students opportunities for leadership, relationships. Project-based learning is a big one. And one of the things that they talked about that I thought was really interesting was that we need to shift from what's wrong to what's strong about our schools. And if we look at the strengths that our teachers and staff present in the schools and look at ways that we can expand those and help other people gain those same strengths, that will have a real positive effect on our children.
Okay, Ann, you have some more comments in regards to the state conference?
I do. I was pleased to be able to be a delegate along with you and Dottie and Dwayne. And it was interesting to go through that process and to see how across the state the school board is actively engaged in what we're voting for and what we feel is important as we lead our schools across the state. And I'll just tell you very quickly that the School Boards Association drafted a legislative agenda. And I could talk all day about them, but I won't do it. What I will do is tell you the top things, and my colleagues are well aware of this, and it's something we've all spent a great deal of time with, talking to our members of the General Assembly and trying to move forward on. But the first one, like Dottie talked about, is ensuring student success. We'd like to look at the school calendar and make it relevant to our school system. It'll take legislation to do that. School technology is very, very big for us, as I have been continuing to learn, and I appreciate that very much. And also, the low-performing schools, that we have schools that meet expected growth in their school, but yet they're labeled low-performing. The second area is safe learning environment. I've already alluded to that, as have my colleagues tonight, so I will not elaborate any further on that, except to just say we're so grateful for our school resource officers. The third area is assuring efficient operations of our schools, and that's very important for us. And as we are looking at school construction and school capital needs, especially for our Granite Falls Middle School. And so that's something that's needed all across our state. The fourth one is what Dr. Griffin alluded to tonight, and that's retaining and recruiting top talent within our schools. Our teachers and our principal pay continue to be huge issues for the State School Board Association, and we all advocate for that in every way that we can so that we can continue to do many things in that area, as well as for our school resource officers. Accountability is the fifth area that the School Board Association has adopted interest in, and we will continue to advocate for even ethics training for school administrators and for opportunity scholarships and education savings accounts and other kinds of things that will continue to help our school system to be strong. So that was hitting the highlights very quickly, but you will be hearing more from us as we continue to work to try to make Caldwell County Schools a good partner across our state in what we're doing to promote our legislative agenda.
Thank you, Ann. Move on around. Joe?
Okay, one of the breakout sessions that I went to was the CTE, Continuing Ed. It was put on by Scotland County, and I love to do the CTE courses or sessions just to see what other counties are doing and compare to what we've got going on. A lot of this is things that we have, but a couple of things that I picked up, they start with their Business Advisory Council, which we have, and they do a lot of internships in their county. And they did and I hadn't seen this, I'm not sure if our county does it, but they took the unemployment rate times an average salary just to see the amount of money that's left on the table by unfilled jobs. And they worked backwards and started trying to find programs that could fill those vacancies. They had $5 million in unpaid salaries in Scotland County last year. So they're working to try to get the students as they're graduating a job in the county unless they want to go on to further their education. They promote the CTE department. I know we do that. One of the courses that they offer that we don't offer, they have a drone flight school. And my understanding is that's a pretty big business. My son that's in Florida was telling me that they hire drones to fly over businesses that they have down there that they need to do stuff. Another one, they have a Genius Bar that teaches the kids how to fix computers. So if people have a problem with their computers, the students can actually fix the computers. And this one, I think, to me, as an athlete, you know, they have a signing day, career signing day for the kids that get the opportunity to go to with a scholarship. But as part of their career day, they do a couple of things. One, the career day, they expect their students to bring a resume and to dress nicely. And they bring them in groups. They don't take the entire students in. They bring them in groups so they have a little more one-on-one time with those employers. And then they do have a signing day. If a student gets a job, just like the coach, he's with his student and the parents are there, they have a signing day for that child that's getting a scholarship. They have a signing day for that student, and they promote the education and the CTE part. And it was very interesting to listen to it and hear what we have and to take ideas back and, you know, maybe make our programs better.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Dwayne?
After each election, a newly elected board member is required to take an ethics class, and I did that. And for breakout sessions, I always choose ones put on my school systems rather than companies using us as commercials. One breakout session was Dr. Church presented a program on Granite Falls Middle School. Another was by Surrey County, where they promote running and exercise and create running classes or running clubs. And another one was by the North Carolina Alcoholic Beverage Control about the dangers of teenage drinking. And their quote was, "Adolescent brains are not broken, we're just a work in progress."
It's true.
Thank you, thank you. Certainly, all of us that were there went to the session about Granite Falls Middle School, and certainly we want to thank those who were on the panel, Dr. Church and Dottie, Ann, and Joe. So they did a fantastic job. We weren't real sure what the attendance would be, but we had a room full of people. So they were interested in what we were doing here in Caldwell County. And so it was a great session, and I heard some people later talking about it and very pleased by it. Let me very briefly talk about one I went to, and then we'll be finished here in about 2 minutes here. Vance County does what they call a student spotlight, where they select one student from each school. And they're looking for a student that best expresses the mission of the school, not your top athlete, not your top student necessarily, but just they're wanting to recognize students who are good, solid citizens who do a great job day in and day out, and they surprise them with what they call the prize patrol. And they will actually go into that student's classroom and present them with a basket and so forth. But that's just the beginning of some of the things that they are beneficiaries of. The newspaper is collaborating in this process. So the student is interviewed, pictures are taken, they run it in the newspapers. They also have, at the end of the year, a 4-course dinner. Mom and dad and family members are invited. It is a great event. I think they had maybe like 17 schools, so they had 17 students with the entire family. Business people were invited. The community leaders were invited. So these students were treated like kings and queens. And on top of all of that, in collaboration not only with the newspaper and local businesses, these students were able to go in the spring of the year to Washington, D.C. And they indicated that many of these students had not had the opportunity to even get out of North Carolina before. And they were able to go to Washington, D.C. and see some of the sites there and to visit Capitol Hill and various other locations. So a great program. It seems to be working well down there in Vance County. So that was intriguing to me that the newspaper and businesses and the community were all engaged, and these students throughout the year were treated in such a wonderful fashion. And I just thought it was great that the community and the school system decided that this was one more way to recognize their students. So anyway, great conference, and appreciate all those that attended. I think we all learned a good bit from it. Anybody else have any other comments? Any other?
I just want to say one more thank you to the church family. We appreciate your generosity, your kindness. Thank you to South Caldwell Athletics folks who are here tonight, and Principal Chad Smith for your leadership and support in making this all come together. Thank you.
Okay, do I hear a motion that we adjourn?
I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And motion is passed. We are adjourned. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving.